Hey everybody, it's your girl Taj, and we are back. Ooh, right? I need to get like the clapping sound and stuff, right? But we want to welcome everybody for another episode of Talking with Tasja, and we are continuing the marriage and ministry series. So we are really, really excited about that. Today the broadcast is sponsored by, let's see who is sponsored by today. We're sponsored by Naturally Classy Consulting. We're sponsored by Naturally Classy Adornments. This is my baby. Yeah, I know it's me. We make natural skin and hair care products, and we take care of you from your head to your toes. We believe in taking what God made to help heal what God made. So we have body butters, we have hair oil, beard oil, hair butter, beard butter, handmade bar soaps. We have what else we got? We got some of everything. So head over to naturallyclassyadornments.com and go check us out. Okay, and next we have No More Secrets. That is my other heart. That is the nonprofit organization where we deal with domestic violence in the church. And so we conduct forums, we conduct workshops, we help those leaders who don't know what to do. If such a situation arises in your church, we help you in order to get the situation resolved to the best of our ability. We also conduct workshops for leaders because everything is not just fasting and praying, saints. Hallelujah. So, if you want more information about that, or if you want to also purchase hoodies and t-shirts and soon to be, this is what's about to launch. This sweatsuit right here. So this hoodie, and it comes with an actual sweatsuit. You can head over to No More Secrets Inc.org and check us out. You'll hear the mission. You'll hear the a little bit about my story, my testimony. You'll see quite a few things. So just head over again to No More Secrets Inc.org to check us out. Head over to naturallyclassyadornments.com to check us out as well. And so today, I'm excited. I'm really excited about today. Like, I've been trying to get this couple on for I don't know how long, but I was going to get them on separately. But, something about Jesus, he just allows you to just bring everything together, right? So tonight, I have my bro and my sis on. Tonight's topic is marriage and ministry part 2. We're going to talk to the preacher and the musician. I'm so excited about this. So excited about this. And so tonight we're going to bring on the Thompsons. Everybody clap your hands. Hey guys, how you doing?
Thank you for having us, sis.
Thank you.
This is really nice.
Yeah.
I must say. This is really nice.
I'm excited because literally I was thinking about a whole situation, talking about church hurt from the musician's perspective. So I was going to have the bro on. That didn't work out. These musicians don't want to talk. I don't know.
You're busy, man. Yeah, so busy.
Oh, they hiding something. And then I was going to have sis on. I was like, no, we need to know what it's like to be the wife of the musician. Yeah. And then a lot of people don't want to talk either. So I was like,
well, listen, thank God for President's Day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He makes a way out of nowhere. So for everybody who do not know, these are the Thompsons, Devontae and Monique Thompson. I'm so happy to have them on. And we're going to just jump right into it. So I'm going to do something different today. Normally, I'll just introduce them or let them introduce themselves. However, today I want Devontae to introduce Monique to y'all, and then I want Monique to introduce Devontae to y'all. So go right on ahead.
Let's do
Yeah.
it. So I present to you the minister, the wife to my 4 beautiful children.
The mother, babe.
The mother, excuse me.
I'm your wife.
My wife. The mother to my 4 beautiful children has 1,000 degrees at this point.
Oh,
God. Soon to be doctor. Soon to be doctor. A great preacher in her own right. The beautiful Mrs. Thompson.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And I introduce you. I introduce you all to the best boyfriend I've ever had. The amazing minstrel, the deacon, Devontae Thompson. He is a very much accomplished producer, musician, and he's a preacher, y'all. He is a mini Bishop Jeffrey Conyers, guys. He is my amazing husband of 7 years this year. The father to our 4 beautiful, amazing, handsome sons. He is the newly appointed dean in an elementary school, and the love of my life.
Oh, so nice and warm.
That was good.
That was good. Y'all did so good. Pastor Trav put you up on a Thirsty Thursday. So that was nice. I gotta do that more often with these couples. That was nice. We're gonna jump. Wait. So tell us, how did you guys meet?
You want to take that?
How we met? Sheesh.
I know
so we did
2 sides, so y'all could each tell your own side.
Okay.
You want to tell your side first?
Yeah, honey.
So we did meet through a mutual friend. It was a beautiful introduction.
Yeah, thank you.
We did meet through a mutual friend. I believe in love at first sight. So I saw a picture of this beautiful young woman, and from there I was hooked. And I guess you could say I slid into her DMs.
He did exactly what he did.
I did, and man, the rest is history, honestly.
Yeah, I have to add, one day, so after we met and after we started dating, I remember the first time I went to his church, and I think we dated for like a month and a half.
Probably less than that.
Yeah, and we had one on a date afterwards, and he was like, he got very prophetic. He was like, "You can be my wife. I'm gonna marry you." Okay.
Did I say it in that? Probably did.
And so here we are 7 years later. Yeah.
Let me tell y'all men out there, if you know, move. Just
yeah.
I didn't want to miss out on that opportunity, so I had to move quick.
That part.
Yeah. I had to move quick. I knew what time it was, but, not to get deep, but I knew what the Lord told me to do. So,
thank God.
Preach. Do a seminar. Some of these people out there.
Yeah.
Listen, if you know, you know.
Yeah. It was that. Yep. And we got married pretty quickly. We didn't have a big wedding. No. We catch us in 2028 for our renewal.
Yep.
But we eloped because we just knew we went with God, and He has been with us every step of the way.
Yes.
I love it. You don't need a big wedding.
No.
It's not about the wedding.
You
It's about the
need
marriage.
a yes from God, and
That's it.
He will lead you.
You don't need a big wedding. You just need a big marriage. It's the marriage that
Yeah.
counts.
Yep.
That's the marriage that
That's
counts.
all you need.
Right?
Small wedding, big
Well, I
God.
like that. I like that a lot. You don't need a big wedding. You need a big marriage. I love that.
Please, at this point, just put me in a preacher's office and sign the papers. I do.
Listen, I think that's better at this point.
Sure.
Exactly.
I've been there, done that. I'm good. You go broke.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
It is a lot of money.
A lot of
money. We've saved so much by just,
save the money, get you a house.
Yeah.
Something that's gonna make you money. Like
exactly. Important to the children if you have children,
yes.
but I mean, weddings are beautiful, but that's not the destination, right?
Right.
It's really about the unity that you have and the partnership, and just making sure that what you have is a solid foundation.
Yeah.
A wedding is just fluff.
Yep.
So
it is. And half of these people with these $60,000 weddings don't make it a year.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, that's the thing. I would hate to spend
$60,000 wedding, 6-week marriage.
Oh, fuck.
6-month marriage.
Yeah, literally. It's not worth it.
It seems like a big waste of money. So you want to, like you said, have a big marriage instead.
Yeah. So, what was your journey into ministry like as individuals, and then coming together as a couple?
So I guess I could start. I've been a licensed minister since 2008. Oh God, that just sounds so crazy. I'm young, but since 2008, I've been in ministry, and for me personally, ministry chose me. It wasn't my choice. I come from a line of preachers. My father was a deacon. My mother was an elder. My grandmother was an elder. So I come from just my aunt is an overseer. Well, she was, God rest her soul. She was an overseer. So I just come from a long line of preachers in my family. Grew up, born and raised in church, grew up in church. Church is all I know. I was a church girl. And of course I went through that phase of, I want to, be in a church, but still see how I could be in the world, try to have what they said, have fun, or see how far I can go, and be young. And of course, God was like, yeah, no, this is not your portion, sis. Like, I have other plans for you. And so for me, going into ministry, like I said, it was a God idea, because Monique is not that great, not that great to be called to such a great gospel and to have this great responsibility. But I'm thankful for God entrusting me with it. And so, I remember when I first really got started in ministry, I was a young mother. I was a single mother before I was married. And it was really hard. It was hard going places because everybody's motive or everybody's intent is not as pure as you would like it to be. So being a woman in ministry, being a young woman in ministry, and not having certain covering it was almost scary. It almost made me want to retreat. I experienced some things where I was like, God, I know, like, these are not, these are not the people that you have called, or this is not, this is not the mannerisms that Christians should have. But you learn, you live and you learn. And I thank God for, he had people like around me that, protected me, that kept me on the straight and narrow, that, spoke to me and let me know, like, some bad experience is not all, the enemy try to throw monkey wrenches to try to get you to say, I throw in the towel, but it's more about our press. So yeah, I learned so much. I love ministry. I love serving the people of God. I love God's people. And yeah, I'm very much, I love doing ministry as a married woman, because I love the support of my husband. He prays for me. He covers me. He encourages me. He make me feel like I'm like Bynum or Bishop Jackie McCullough. I'm like, no, like, my husband is my biggest encourager. And I'm very grateful, because I'm like, baby, I was not that great. Like, oh, you you preach today, babe? I'm like, okay. I'm very grateful having him in my corner because he's very supportive of everything I do. And sometimes I can do a lot. And it's nice for someone to clap for you, but it's also nice for someone to care enough for you to say, you know, maybe you should slow down, take a rest day. Let me help you. Let me handle it. So yeah, that's did I answer the question?
Yeah, your way.
We are chatty patty. Your turn.
Wow. Well, for me, it was a little different. Growing up, I didn't want to preach per se. Obviously, being a minstrel, music was in my blood since birth. So, at the age of 2, I began to, actually play, and I officially started. I guess you could say became a musician around 11, 12, playing for the Praise Tabernacle. God rest his soul. My dad, Bishop Conyers, following him everywhere, and just playing, being the church's drummer. And it went from that to, at a young age, even playing in clubs, W hotels, and with that, I would say I was very sheltered. So I didn't really get to see too much unless, being in school. I didn't really want to hang out like that. It was just drums and basketball for me.
Right.
Drums, girls, and basketball.
That's right.
That's
accurate.
That's it.
That's accurate.
Yeah. And I didn't really want to hang out, do things like that. So that was pretty much it. And then as I started to get older, my dad would make little jokes. You're gonna be the deacon. I'm like, Dad, no, I don't even want that. Growing up in church, you have different perspectives on deacons. Not that it's bad, but I don't want to be, I thought, I gotta clean the church, I gotta wear baggy suits, I gotta I was like, Dad, no, I don't. That's an old man's job. I don't want to do that. So, as I got older and I got a family, and then walking closely with my dad, as I started to get older, I started to see a lot of things, and I started to understand I was already walking in that realm. So I remember one service, I think it was in the summertime. He just announced it, and I thought he was joking.
He told me though.
Yeah. And he just announced it, so I was put on the spot. I couldn't say no, so couldn't say no. So
no, I decline.
So fast forwarding, to now, I have a totally different perspective on being a deacon. I don't wear baggy suits.
No. Thank God.
I do have to stay late sometimes, later than everyone.
First to come and last to leave.
Yeah, but the biggest thing for me is getting to know the word more. And I think that has been the biggest, I hold that very dear to my heart because not to go off subject, but a lot of us, meaning musicians, we don't know the word. Like they don't, that stigma has been with us for a very long time. And for me, it was a big point for me to show that, you can still be a musician, but you got to hide the word in your heart.
Right.
So, that has been a very big thing for me to, be a deacon. I don't necessarily like when people walk around and call me, "Hey, Deacon Thompson." I'm still Tay at the end of the day, but I don't. I got to get around to being called Deacon.
Yeah, he doesn't like.
Yeah. But yeah, that has been a very cool thing, I might add, especially being married to I'll say Juanita Bynum's little sister.
Oh gosh.
She pushes me, way beyond what I thought spiritually, and I really appreciate this woman.
I
really
appreciate you too.
Aw. You guys make me want to get married. Jesus have mercy. I love love. We're gonna take a moment to say hi to all the viewers. We want to say hi to everybody who's here. I see some people are coming and going, but when you're coming in, just stop by, say hi. Don't be scared. We don't bite. We laugh.
Hey.
All right.
Yes, we
do.
What's going on, dude?
We have the Thompsons here, and tonight we are talking about marriage and ministry, but more so from the preacher and the musician perspective. Okay, so being that you guys are in ministry, are married, and are parents, how do you maintain a healthy balance between your marriage, family life, and ministry responsibilities?
Planners. We use planner. I create planners for everything. I think I plan him to death, but I have so many planners because we have so many responsibilities. So we plan everything. Me and Devontae, we meet like, not only are we partners in marriage, but we're partners in life. So we have like business meetings, and sometimes we'll have like now our youngest is in school, and we bless the Lord. I mean, God is so our youngest is in school, and so down to meal planning, his engagements, because not only is he the dean of a school, but he also is a musician on the side. So he has what does she always say? My man got 2 jobs. So like he has a lot of gigs lined up. So we have a planner for like work stuff where it's like, I'm always called into meetings outside of my normal office hours. So like we have to I got to make sure that my meetings don't run into the times where he have gigs, because we got to make sure that somebody's home. We got dinner cooking, ministry engagements. That's another thing. I never accept a game engagement without, one, of course, asking our pastor, and 2, talking about it with my husband. Because 1, I want to make sure he can come. And I just want to make sure that, I have the release from both of my leaders. So yeah, we plan everything. We're constantly meeting. It's not like it's not like a set day we have, but we don't go more than a week without actually going over each planner and going over the schedule for the kids, for work, for ministry, and of course for his engagements. Hey, Trayvon.
That's my brother.
Trayvon. Like, I know him too.
That's my brother.
Hi, Jamila. Bishop Shivers, hi, Jamila.
Hey.
There's a few people on here, so we just want to say hi to everybody.
Yes, hello,
everybody. Great talking. This is definitely a good talk. So I gave y'all a heads up. Okay?
Yes.
So, because, first of all, for those who don't know, we live in the great city of New York. New York City, with all 5 boroughs, even though we don't claim Staten Island half of the time.
What's Staten Island?
I had to tell somebody that today. Like, I was in Staten Island. Where's that? What's that? Who claims that? What's Staten Island? What's that? No, we'll take Long Island before we take Staten Island. But specifically, both of us deal in the borough of Brooklyn, the borough of the churches, right? And the New York City church circuit is very, very small. Large city, small circle, right?
Yes, very.
And especially as a musician, there are stigmas, there are stereotypes, there are reputations that come along with being a musician. I'm gonna be honest, I ain't never heard your name in the streets, and I hear about a lot. So I'm gonna say that you.
Thank you, Jesus.
in my book.
Lord is kind.
Listen.
Good in my book. I will keep your book. Got good in my book. A lot of that's not the testimony for a lot of musicians.
True.
And a lot of musicians are not married.
Yeah.
They're not married. And those who are married, you kind of wish they wasn't married for the sake of the wife because they out here acting single.
Father
Right?
God.
Yeah.
This is for Lady Thompson.
Oh, okay.
Lady Thompson.
Okay.
Take it away.
How do you handle? I'm gonna say this in the most talking with Tasja way. Okay.
Okay.
How do you handle these trifling heifers that like to try to go after?
I love it. You know, I like this question.
That try to go after a musician whether they're married or not.
They do. And they trifling. I said, these are God's people. No, I'm joking. They are trifling and they will try. The thing about it is you have to, what gives me confidence and what gives me peace is I know the person I marry. I know my husband. And I'm very confident in the love that we have for each other. We have, God has graced us to be able to overcome certain things. So being that we were able to overcome different challenges, we've learned each other. We learned each other in the good and we learned each other in the bad. We've learned each other in tight situations. We've learned, I know the ins and outs about this man 1000% through and through. So what gives me confidence is the fact that, you could look and like, but that's mine. He's branded. He's branded by Christ and God has given him to me. And so that's what just gives me comfort. I've never had, I can honestly say God is kind. I've never had to, I've never seen nobody like really try it. They may look, they may linger and try to talk for a longer amount of time. But I'm glad, I'm so thankful for his personality because he doesn't even like the attention. So like, I already know, I can just see it in his face, like he's uncomfortable and he'll before I can even come and be like, hello, hey, he's going,
Take a hike. Mike.
Yeah. So he's very respectful. You know how they say some men are not aware that, I didn't know she was looking at me. I didn't know she was flirting. My husband's very much aware. And I'm thankful for that. And if he's not, he's cognizant of the fact that like, if it's somebody that may have known him before we got married, he'll introduce me. Oh, there's my wife. Or he'll always make reference. He'll tell me like, I saw so-and-so. And I was like, I'm happily married. And I was like, okay. You're not gonna do that. So we give each other that respect because, our marriage is ours and we want to protect it. But he's handsome, and I kind of bless him, so it's okay. I looked at him and liked him. I get it.
I mean, the truth be told, nobody wants anything that everybody else don't want, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'll say this because he was new coming into our church, right? For the Thirsty Thursdays. I knew Kawan for years. I never saw it before, right? So I was like, oh, who that? Who that? And then, I'm media, so I go and deal with everybody. I'm like, hey, how are you? Very respectful, no flirtatious, because sometimes people give off the whole,
Yeah.
The Lord is good.
The law. And then if you leave it alone, all that. I ain't stupid, right? Been in this thing a while. So no. He turned into the bro in 2.5 seconds. I was like, hey, bro. Like, no. First thing I think I asked my pastor, I said, where his wife at? Because the man married. I know he married. I search on social media. I would like Our Facebook page. I got a rule. I'm gonna be friends with your husband. I'm gonna be friends with your wife.
I don't think people get that. It's a respect thing.
Yeah.
It's a respect thing. But
even with his musician friends, like I don't speak to them unless he's around, because you never want people to say, "Oh, your wife is." I never give off.
right.
Flirting. Just respect for.
And even then, not to cut you off, musicians lie.
Oh,
so
yeah. So,
you can still
I didn't want to say it.
It's very. I don't even know the word for it anymore, but it's getting crazy out here. Like, you can still be respectful, but musicians still lie. So everybody.
I have a term. I need to trademark it though. But people operate from the kingdom of niggerdom. So
yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah,
hit the nail right on the head. That was it.
Yeah,
all caps.
Yeah, literally.
They do. It's so unfortunate, but they do.
Yeah, not all musicians.
All. Yeah.
I want to make that very clear.
There's some good ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Few
and far in between, but there are some.
There are some that like I consider my bro, and I don't feel like, I have to. I mean, I'm always respectful. Like, I'm always a lady. I'm always his wife, but I don't feel like I have to be so guarded, if you will. But then there's some I'm like, hey, God bless. Hey, from a distance, God bless. So, yeah.
So let's flip this over to Mr. Thompson. How do you handle these trifling heifers when they come up?
Well, I mean, like my wife just said, my personality naturally, I don't like to talk that much. I really don't. And people may think I'm being funny, but I just don't like to talk that much. Like, I don't want to say I'm an introvert.
You are.
But I kind of am though, right? So it's like, how can I put it? I can see, like, a woman can, after a gig or before a gig, try to make a flirtatious pass or whatever. And it's not me being funny, but it'll kind of just like roll off my shoulder because I don't pay attention to it. I really don't. And they'll probably say something. Oh, you did well today. The little innuendos, the little. Okay.
You played those drums.
Yeah, like how they used to say church PKs flirt with the musicians. You staying for afternoon service? Like stuff, and I don't even respond. But if we cool, I just think it's a fine line. Just be respectful, and that's it. I really just don't like to talk that much. I don't. Even, at gigs and stuff, I play and I go home. I don't know if Trey is still on, and he'll be the first one to tell you. I play, I go home. I don't linger because that's how stuff happens.
Right.
I play and I go home. Don't text me. Don't call me. I'm out. So
I get that all the time. Like, your husband don't answer his phone. I'm like,
yeah.
I heard a man this morning. It was a husband. He said his wife is his operator. When his phone rings, the wife picks it up, and if it's important, she passes it over to him. And if it's not, she answers it. She takes the message.
I'm like his receptionist. He's like Jack. Well, he calls. So you may hear me say Jack. That's his term of endearment for me. It's my middle name. We're not gonna go into details, but that is what he calls me. He's the only person in the entire universe that calls me that addresses me by my middle name. But he'll say, like, he doesn't accept anything unless, like, again, with his calendar. I keep his calendar. I don't know. I guess I signed up, by default.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, so he'll always ask me, like, do I got a gig this day? And I'm like, let me check the calendar. So yeah. I'm the receptionist.
Has there ever been a time when the ministry has put a strain on the marriage?
Yeah.
And if so, how did you work through it?
Ooh. Ministry, that's the answer to that is yes. Yes, ministry. Ministry has put a strain on the marriage because there was a point where ministry was becoming very demanding. I want to say twice it happened.
Yeah.
The first time is when I first joined his new ministry, and for me, it put a strain.
Well, you got to be specific.
No, I'm not going to be specific.
Guys, I do not have a church. Do not. No, because you said my ministry.
Oh, I'm sorry. When I say,
please.
No, he's not a pastor. Oh, no.
Make that very clear.
I was very confused. When we got married, I joined my husband's ministry. It was really hard for me because the ministry I was in, I was very connected to. And so it put a strain because, of course, I wanted to be with my husband and attend church with my husband and as a family with our children attend services. But I just felt like I was abandoning the call that I had at the place where I was a member and I was a minister and I was serving the house. So it did cause a strain because I had to make a decision. And at first I was trying to do dual membership. Like, it just wasn't working.
I do not suggest that.
I was trying. Because I genuinely love both ministries, right? And but I was spreading myself thin. And then, as we progressed in our ministry, after, joining the ministry that we're in now, then I started, operating ministry. So now not only was he operating heavily, working close to Bishop Conyers, being the musical director for our organization, and then being a deacon, now I, am in position in ministry. And so there were some times when it was like, I got to do this. And he's like, I got to do this. And some services, oh goodness. Yeah. Because we have two small children. So it's like he could be playing the drums and no one not is sitting next to him because I am presiding or I am doing something or I'm preaching or I have to sit in a pulpit. So, I think the best thing we did though, because we had to make a big decision at one point in ministry, and the best thing we did was we talked through it. And we had to hear each other's hearts because the ministry we're in, that's the ministry my husband was born into, right? So understanding what Pastor used to always say, he will always say, seek to understand rather than being understood.
Yeah.
And so even though there were some changes happening in ministry, it kind of filtered in because we had our own personal opinions about it. And the best thing we could have did was we talked. We talked about it. Sometimes when we couldn't talk, we would pray about it and we would say, listen, we're going to pray about this. And then when we both calm down, when we take a step away, then we'll revisit it. So just a lot of communication and just having each other's back, right? Knowing each other's limits. I know that as soon as I finish preaching, I got to come off the pulpit and I got to relieve him of Noah, because Noah is probably crying and he wants mommy now. And there are times when he'll be playing the drums and I don't know, prayer could be going on and he'll pick up Nasir. So it's just knowing each other and being aware of each other's capacities, and then just communicating. We communicate sometimes not even with words. We just like I can make a look or he can go like when he go like this. I know my baby's tired. So I'm gonna go over there, and so it's just knowing, and we communicate. I would say body language, verbal communication. Just communicate.
Yep.
Yeah. So how do you ensure that your marriage remains Christ-centered and not just ministry focused?
Ooh,
that is a question.
I know I'm getting good at this.
This is really good.
Man, give me the question one more time. That was a good question. I need to hear. Give me the question one more time.
How do you ensure that your marriage remains Christ-centered and not just ministry-focused?
Well, I can start by saying this. My dad, when me and Monique got married, we would run into, like we just spoke about, the ministry problems. She would have to do something, I would have to do something. It would clash. And he sat both of us down, and he told me, your first ministry is your family now.
Mhm.
You are the pastor of this now.
Yeah.
So I understand, you have to, do what you have to do and help me, but at the same time, this is your ministry now. So after that, I kind of took that and ran with it to the point where it was like he would tell me or ask me to do something. Well, Dad, I gotta.
You gotta come to me like, are you gonna be okay when I take something? I was like,
I would say, for me personally, that has been a big thing, to make sure I'm being the pastor and the bishop over my family, and making sure, because that's also Bible,
Hey, Quan.
He on?
Yeah.
My brother.
Hey, brother.
Yeah, but
I gotta get people on the podcast. I gotta get certain people on. Okay, I see.
That's my dog. But yeah, to make sure that my family is good first, because if they not good, then nothing that I do ministry wise won't be good at all.
Right.
I can't be a deacon to the people and serve the people, but my family is lacking. I gotta make sure the kids are good, my wife is good. So I would say that, first and foremost.
It's okay, Quan. I love you.
Yeah, I agree. There has to be an understanding that home is first. I think, I mean, it's easy for, like me and my husband both were born and raised in the church. All we know is church. Ministry. We could do this with our eyes closed. But just understanding that our home needs the most attention and needs the most care. And it's the most sacred, if you will, right? So having that respect for home, for each other, for our children, I think that, because God, that's what He called us to do, right? He called us to make sure, like He called the husband to love the wife, and for the wife to honor the husband, and for us to care for our children. And then we can go out and be our best selves in ministry. So for me, for me and my husband, it was a learning curve for us, though.
Literally.
This is not going to happen overnight. That was a learning curve, because we thought we were a super couple. We could do ministry, we could do marriage, we could do parenting, we could do careers. And we had to have like a real moment with our pastor. And he was like, no, this is how. And I'm going to share this analogy because it was gold. Bishop Conyers, and all of the great things he would say, I will never forget. He said, think of your marriage as a block of ice. And he was like, you guys are the sculptors, me and him and Christ. We have to first have the image of the type of marriage that we want to have. And together we start chipping away at it. And that's what we live by, so just having a vision for your marriage and keeping your marriage first. That's how you keep it Christ-centered and not ministry-minded.
That was good. Have a vision for your marriage. I like the ice sculpture thing. That's good. Maybe
so great.
Maybe I'll remember that next time I get married.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Devontae, we do vision. We do a vision every year.
Yeah.
We do a mission statement for our marriage, a vision. Oh, yeah.
I love it.
successful businesses have it, so why not,
Yeah.
a partnership?
That's true. I need to do that for my businesses too. You get me an idea. Um, now, how do you handle criticism or opposition, whether from within the church or outside of it? If in fact you go through it, if you go through it.
Criticism. Together. We've experienced criticism in the church and out of the church. Sorry, everything is not a joke. What is the truth?
It's the
Not
right?
I think we have learned. Me and my husband have learned how to realize that even though there's chatter around us, as long as the chatter is around us, it doesn't get within us.
Yeah.
Right? So we got to keep each other tight. Keeping it tight. That means, being, if we can be real with no one else, we got to be real with each other.
Yeah.
So the world may not know that their criticism is bothering me, but he will know. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And he'll know, okay, now that I know, this is something that's bothering her, he'll make sure I'm really even more guarded in this area, and vice versa. So I would say that's how we've learned. That's how we have learned to handle it. We didn't come in knowing how to handle like that.
No.
That took time, but we have learned to make sure that as long as we are tight and we communicate and we're honest, you got to be like, in marriage, you got to be okay with being vulnerable. Some people are like, oh, you're not supposed to feel like that. No, you feel like that, and that's your okay. Those are your feelings, and your feelings are valid. So we validate each other's feelings, and we make sure that, okay, if he can only give 10, I got the 90. If I can only give 5, he got the 95. And that's how we handle it. Right?
Literally.
I love it. So I know y'all got kids, right? So 2 older, 2 younger.
Yes.
How do you involve them in ministry while ensuring that they have their own relationship with God?
Sabbath school, right?
I leave that. She's saying Sabbath school. Me personally,
Sabbath school.
it's Saturday. Not saying I don't want to hear the word.
I love the word. You know
if
that.
It's 6, 7, 8 a.m., I'm not doing Sunday Sabbath school. So I leave that to her. I leave it to her. But we do give them scripture. We especially our teenager, we let him know, buddy, your sins are on you now.
13 is the mark. That's my grandmother told me.
Your sins are on you now. So
repent.
we teach them, how to pray, how to repent. And, while at church, our second oldest, Joshy, he loves the drums.
Yeah.
So with him, I thought, all of our children would be musicians. Maybe not.
I don't think
There's still a chance.
There's hope.
There's still a chance. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they'll do something, but I'm sure they will. CJ, he has his little engagements from time to time.
Yeah, CJ is our little preacher. He's always booked for like youth ministry.
Yeah. Noah, the talkative one, he's going to preach. There's no choice. Only because he talks the most.
Yeah,
he has to preach.
Yeah,
He has to preach.
Words in him.
Yeah. He has to preach. But
Nasir loves the drums. So.
Nasir loves the drums. He loves music in general.
Yeah. But yeah, I do Sabbath school with them. That's how I was raised. And Sabbath school is just like Sunday school and Saturday. And I just like, I'm a teacher. That's I don't know, that's me by nature. And the teacher comes in the house sometimes. And so I teach them the word of God. I do visual representation. It's my classroom. And I love teaching my children the most. Because I know my kids. So I take Sabbath school very seriously.
Yeah, if I let her go that far, She will have a PowerPoint.
Oh yeah.
She will have little booklets. She at a certain point, I'm like, all right, baby, that's enough.
Yeah.
The kids looking like, huh? Like,
but let me tell you, they know that word.
They do.
And they pray the word, so I teach your kids the Bible.
The words.
And I like the time we're living in now with social media and the access to the internet and false information. I think it's so important that we as Christians teach our young people why, like, we have to not only teach them what we believe, but we have the big thing is the why, right? Why do I believe this? Why? When there's the Big Bang Theory, Darwin's theory of evolution, all of these theories, which are not fact, right? We know that it's not fact, but these are theories that people want to believe in just to kind of dispel religion. At a young age, I want my children to know why they believe what they believe and be able to defend the faith. They don't got to defend God because God don't need no defense, but you should be able to speak to why you believe what you believe.
Yeah.
And I think those are the building blocks for them to have their own relationship, to seek God. And I always tell the kids, don't just take what mommy is saying for fact. Go do your research.
Know them for yourself.
Go do your research. And that's how we do it. But yeah, I teach them.
I love it.
Maybe one day I'll do like a reel.
Please don't do that to me.
I try to stay as far away in the house as possible. I do not want to be a part.
And I do it early.
Very early. Keep me out.
He's like, I'll take y'all to the court, but I ain't doing this Sabbath school.
Yeah. I'll leave the Sunday school to this one.
I love it. What advice would you give to a couple or to couples in general who feel called to serve in ministry together?
Oh, I love that.
Communication. Communicate and pray. Pray. If the Lord tells you to do a thing, do it. But at the same time, do it with wisdom and communicate. You need to have wise counsel. That would be another thing. Yes, you can do it, but nobody does, anything on their own per se. You need wise counsel. So if you're going to, be in ministry together, communicate, pray first and foremost, communicate, and make sure you have wise counsel.
I agree. I would say the same thing. Pray. And if I could add on to what my husband said, I would add support one another.
Yeah.
Know that y'all are doing ministry together, not two people doing ministry. We've heard stories. Don't know them personally, so I can't say nobody in particular. But we've heard stories of couples becoming competitive. And then that jealousy gets in. Oh, you being called more than I am. So I mean, that's not our
itinerary is long.
I know that's not our testimony, and I would hope that's nobody's. But God forbid if it was to rise, I would say support one another. My husband does so much. He's a very busy man, but I'm grateful to be called to be his supporter. I find great joy in being his cheerleader. And he does the same for me, So I would say support one another, truly support one another, and know that y'all are doing ministry together, not two people doing it. I think perspective is everything. If you can see it as this is something we are doing together, then it will kind of dispel all any type of jealousy or rivalry from happening within the marriage. So support one another.
I love it. Now, I want to kind of go a couple steps back because y'all was talking about, and I wasn't expecting to ask about this, but I'm gonna. Talking about when y'all was single and how Devontae said when he heard God, he got that confirmation and he did what he needed to do. No. Real talk.
Yeah.
I have a group of friends and we pray for our future husbands, right?
Oh, good. I I love that.
The number one thing that I pray for is God, when he hears you, let him move with any apprehension or hesitation. Let him hear and move.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when you said what you said, I was like, Jesus, you see, maybe they do it. I just need mine to.
Wow.
So I want y'all to give some advice to singles, because this is still the month of love.
Okay.
And give some advice to singles who are still hoping, who are still looking for that kingdom spouse, for that God ordained person for them. And so, Devontae, I want you to speak to the men that may be hesitant and may be fearful, that even if they heard God, they're still afraid. And then Monique, I want you to speak to the women who may not care to be with a man in ministry, but you know,
I was like, y'all, just to let you know. I was like,
you know what God said. Like at the end of the day, you know what God said, right? So I just want y'all to speak to the singles and kind of give hope.
So if I can start, I would say from the male perspective, one, if you heard the voice of the Lord and he told you to marry or to, do whatever it is, I would say, obviously you have to do it. You don't want to be disobedient now. But, pray, because it would be a lie if I said everything that the Lord told me to do, I just went ahead and just did it. That is a lie. That's a complete lie. You get scared, you get nervous, you question sometimes, Lord, you sure? But if that is the Lord telling you to do that, do it. Do it. And it's okay to be afraid, but I would rather you do it afraid rather than not do it at all. And you miss out on your blessing, for what God has for you. Yeah.
So out to the single ladies who this music. This music. I know, right? For me, I was the girl. I made up in my mind, I don't want to be with a man in ministry. I felt like men in ministry are too preoccupied. Too many wives I've seen in church. Too many first ladies, preachers' wives, and musicians' wives, deacon wives. It seemed like
deacon wives.
Yeah, deacon's wives. No, seriously, it seemed like they're only. And I'm saying seen because I was not in their shoes, but I'm just going from my vantage point, right? It seemed like the husband was always preoccupied with something for the church, and the wife, kind of got the slack. It seemed like things were like lacking. So I was like, nope, that's not going to be me. Not going to be my testimony. Not going to ever happen. And God was like, yeah, I got a trick for you, right? But one thing I can say is before getting married, I remember my former pastor preached a message, and I will never forget. I prayed and I was like, God, please help me to be ready for now. Please help me to be ready for what's next. Now, when I was saying that, I was not talking about marriage. I was thinking like, okay, I'm coming out of this old season, right? And a season where I wanted to be in relationships, a season where I was moving from my old job. I was moving into my new career as an educator. I had moved into my new apartment. So it was a lot of changes happening. And so things were moving very quickly. And I was like, God, I want to be able to be wise over these new changes so that I can maintain it, right? That I don't miss any seasons, that I don't miss any moments. And I didn't know marriage was going to be a part of that. And I know a lot of people keep saying, oh, work while you wait in the Lord and be of good cheer. I'm not going to give that because it's very cliche. And is not my experience. My experience was I prayed that I did not miss any moments. I prayed that I was very specific. So if I can give hope, I will be my gift of hope, or my advice of hope would be specifically pray and ask God what you want. And I would say, and while you're praying, make sure you pray for you. Sometimes we pray for the you that the person will be when we get married, or God, let me know when it's him, or God, make me ready for him. But pray for the person that you are now, right? God, while I'm waiting, strengthen my heart, right? You know, give me something to do to preoccupy my mind while I'm waiting. God, make me ready, or like I said, don't allow me to miss any moments. So that was my prayer. I was like, God, please don't let me miss any moments, because things were happening so quickly, and I just didn't want to mishandle any seasons. I think that was very important for me. So I would just say, know the season, know the time that you're in, and enjoy being single. Because as a married woman, it's going to sound strange, but being single is just as great. It's really great. It's really great, because I think this is an opportunity for women and men to redefine who they are in Christ. Because when you get into a marriage, now you have to come in as a whole person with another whole person. You know, you've been married, and then y'all become one, right? So you want to come in not lacking no good thing. And I kind of get a little hesitant talking about singles, because I remember being on the other side, being single, and hear a married woman talk to singles, and it's like, how you married, right? Like, like but one thing I can say is, it's prayer grounded me. Prayer grounded me, and I feel like prayer helped me to become the wife that I am today. Praying, that, like, just really seeking the Lord. So I think that it's awesome. Thank you, Renee. I think that it's awesome that y'all pray for your spouse. That is something that is advanced. That's like AI type level. Like, that is so dope.
Yeah.
I didn't even do that. But if I was single, that's something I would love to be a part of. Because it's just forward thinking, right? Because we're spiritual, and we know that, God, he time and season, everything there's a time and a season. So when you're praying those prayers, I would say y'all are doing the right thing. Y'all are doing the work. And while you're praying that prayer, I would just say, just add God while we wait for them to realize, while we wait for them to get to this point. Guard our hearts, right?
Yeah.
Open the eyes that we don't fall for no counterfeits, because they are out there. Oh my goodness.
Who you telling?
Wow.
Yeah.
And heighten my discernment, that that I don't go for the first person that comes. Help me to know help me to decipher him out of the rest, or help him to decipher me. So yeah, I would say, I'm sorry I'm talking a lot, but I would definitely say prayer is the key. Pray and be very specific. Like, when it comes to things like this, I believe in specifics. I believe it's in the details. Yeah. Pray, because we serve a God who is all in the details. And guess what? You want God to be all in your marriage. So
if I can piggyback off of that, I wasn't even going to mention it, but since you touched on the subject, I was actually in a whole relationship, and I asked the Lord, please send the one that's really for me.
So yeah,
while you was in a relationship.
Yeah.
He didn't know me though. He didn't know me.
I didn't know that. I didn't know. I did not know.
I did it because that happened to me. So I'm not even mad at it.
Yeah, and I kind of felt like, well, I knew I shouldn't have been in that relationship, especially for as long as it, went. But I definitely prayed, and I said, okay, God, show me the one, guide me to the one that's really for me, because this ain't it. This is not it. Yeah. This is not it. And obviously, thank the Lord, he led me to this woman. Yeah.
Yeah, that's prayer, like understanding time and season. Know what time you're in, know what season you're in. Um, and just pray. I mean, really be specific with God, and God will. He shows up. He shows up, and because my testimony was I was a single mother of 2 children before we got married, and 2 children by 2 separate men. Okay, I was coming out of an engagement, and I was like, "Oh, anybody gonna marry me? Especially nobody from the church." That's another thing. Our fears play out, and our insecurities play out by the things we say. Now, I thought because I was a single woman with 2 children by 2 different men, who in the church gonna want somebody like that? So I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna marry no church guy because I was preparing myself to um to not be accepted by a man of God. And God was like, no, give him the fragments of your broken heart, and he will do the work. So yeah, I wasn't seeking a musician. I'm not musical. That's not my ministry.
No, it's really not. I wouldn't recommend anybody call her to sing anyway. Please don't.
Normally musicians attract
Yes.
I knew that straight off the rip. I said, I'm in trouble now. Oh man, it was too late to turn back. So I said,
well. That's hilarious.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Please don't call her to sing anymore.
Oh, no,
please.
He said, call her to pray. Call her to preach.
Yeah, call her to pray.
I love prayer.
Preach. Sing, please.
No,
please. If y'all love me, please don't.
Yeah, I love prayer. But yeah, I would pray. Y'all, and this is probably a topic, but I just really hope people that watch this will take what you're doing and really glean from it, because I think that's so dope. Praying for your spouse. That is, y'all are onto something with that. That is dope. That is really amazing.
The girls are called New Kingdom Focus. That's their Facebook page.
Nice.
And so they do Bible studies every morning. It's on YouTube and it's on Zoom. And I'm usually at work by the time they're doing the Bible studies. So I haven't been active with that part. But as a core, like we call it the five squad, we pray in the morning for our husbands. And so yeah, it's we've been doing it for like 2.5 years.
Wow.
We know somebody's gonna get married, and we had some close calls. Then the devil himself. But we're still seeking the Lord regarding our husbands.
Yeah.
Because we trust God that one day. Now we're not making them an idol. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
We're not making an idol, because that's tricky too. But we're just trusting God. So in closing, do y'all have anything to say to anybody, to couples that are in ministry, to musician wives?
Be patient. Musician wives. Ooh, we need like a support group or something. My God, because these gigs. Oh man, I don't go to all my husband gigs. So if you're looking to see Monique at all the gigs, don't hold your breath. Some of the it's just we don't get the applause that we should get for our patience, because some of these services run long. We be tired. And we got to make sure
the services. The secular.
No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say services, because I don't mind being in church. I love church. The secular gigs, that's the one that drains me, because
women don't have no fit. No remorse. They don't
And
follow the same rules.
And I can't expect them like to treat them like, like you. Come on, sis, you're a woman of God. No, she's just a regular girl who sees a guy that she thinks is handsome. So, so musician wise, stay strong. Stay strong. But on a serious note, to couples out there in ministry, you can do it. You can do it. With Christ, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So I believe that it is a blessing if you are called to do ministry with the one that you are doing life with. Being a single person in ministry and being a married person in ministry, I would prefer doing ministry as a married person. I love it personally. I think that I've seen God, just show himself to me in ways that I've never experienced him before. Not saying that he won't do it for singles, but I just experienced it on a different level. Maybe because I was in a different level in life. We can go deeper, but at the gist of it, I would say stay encouraged, keep Christ at the center, keep marriage first. Yeah, before leaders, before ministry, home is the first ministry, and keep that sacred. So that would be my advice to couples, and to singles: do what they doing. Be specific in your prayer.
No, I agree. More specifically to my group of people, to musicians, let's start with the singles. Again, pray and ask the Lord, who's the right one for you. In my community, we mingle, we come across different, people, different types of people, but more importantly, we come across different spirits. And I really, really, really believe that prayer will help curve a lot of the spiritual warfare, especially, with us musicians. As far as the married musicians, again, pray and keep home first. Keep home first. There's nothing out there for you.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No, I'm not laughing. You're right.
Nothing. Nothing. Keep home.
Exactly.
Seriously. All musicians have been down that rabbit hole. Nothing beats coming home to your wife and your children, if you have children. Nothing beats that. And if you do not believe, that you can stay committed, then I would rather you leave. But us as musicians, we have to. I'm probably going off topic at this point, but I kind of feel led to do this. I feel like we have a obligation to change the narrative, and this stigma, that we have. I heard that there's a list of who not to date, and musicians are up there.
Oh man!
Oh, top. Probably number one.
Yeah, we're up there, and I feel like it's not all musicians. It's really not. But at the same time, we have a part to play in changing this narrative. We have a part to play, and we're not bad guys. We're really not. We're really not bad guys. But at the same time, we have to show that. We have to keep Christ first, not the women.
Oh Jesus, that's true.
If that's not your wife, then don't keep her first. It is what it is. So
well,
that's my advice.
I love it. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself talking to y'all tonight. I knew we got it. We did.
Right. This is like year 2 in the making.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Right. I just want to say thank you so much. You guys shared so many good nuggets. So this was so good. And being real and being transparent. My goal in this podcast is to try to talk about the things that the church doesn't like to talk about or doesn't normally talk about. And it's rare that you're able to hear from the wife of a musician and from a musician himself as to what really goes on, behind closed doors, or as to what dynamics are in a household, and to be honest about what the stigma and the stereotypes of what it is to be a musician or whatever. I'm trying. I try my best not to get too messy, because like if you want to go down the rabbit hole, we could go down the rabbit hole, right? But this
Get cussed
month,
out. I'm gonna get cussed out.
No.
I love it
right?
By who?
though. Huh?
By who?
My people.
Oh, your musician. I was there.
The circle is people, and then but he don't like talking to people anyway, so it don't matter.
No,
Exactly.
so the conversation won't last long.
Exactly.
I just want to say thank you guys so much. Do y'all have anything coming up? Any projects coming up?
No, I'm working on the project.
Right.
Trying to finish this career stuff, but no, nothing. No. Join us at the House of Judah every second and third Sunday.
Yes.
4:30 p.m.
What's the address?
Yeah. That.
The address to the church.
Oh, 1926 Prospect Place, Brooklyn, New York.
Yep.
There you go.
Also, first and third Sundays, Impact Nation.
Yes.
Meet us there, 495
6 p.m.
Ralph, 6 p.m. On first and third Sundays.
Thursdays.
Thursdays. Meet us there, 232 Buffalo.
Yes.
Meet us there.
Thursdays now. We changed it up. I let y'all
Also,
breathe.
right.
Thank you, Pastor Trav. Shout out to Pastor Travis.
Man, that's my guy.
Pastor
Love you, man. Also, 11 a.m. on Sundays, Hope City, Hope Christian Center.
Very busy.
Meet us there.
Very busy.
I'm
not there. Don't look for me.
396 New Lot. Meet us there.
I'm with my children.
Listen, it's an early time.
Exactly. I'm with the babies.
Well, thank you again so much for coming on, and I love you guys. I pray God's blessings.
Thank you for having us.
Your hands touch. I pray God's blessings upon your marriage. I can't wait for your vow renewal. I normally don't invite myself to other people's stuff.
Oh, yeah,
but
You're already invited.
No, I don't like to invite myself to people's stuff. But I'm
got
coming.
the invitation. It'll be on the way.
Yep.
But thank you guys again so much. I love you all, and I will see y'all either online or at Thirsty Thursday.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, everybody, so much for coming on tonight. Be sure you can always catch the replay. If you have not done so yet, go on YouTube and subscribe. We're talking with Tasja. We are trying to get there. We're trying to make this thing something. All right. So again, talking with Tasja on YouTube. Hit the subscription, hit the notification button so you can get notifications anytime we load something up. And we gonna call it a night. Love y'all. Good night.